Right, guys, if you're feeling a bit hungry at all, the souvlaki van is open at the moment. I'll be here all afternoon for you. So have you a chicken souvlaki or a lamb?
This is the spot.
Testing, testing.
Testing. Tyler Scott, could you please ring Stephen Scott if you can hear this message? Tyler Scott, ring Stephen Scott, please. Testing, testing, testing to see if we've got PA in the pit area.
A very good morning, everybody, and welcome to sunny Mildura for the Sunraysia Spectacular, brought to you by the Melbourne Runabout Club here at the Mildura Ski Club. And what a beautiful location. Paul Brewer here, all the way over from Perth to commentate this afternoon and Saturday and Sunday. And joining me is Paul Cunningham.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome from Western Australia. What a trip, mate. How many hours did you come into Melbourne and then drive up?
Yesterday morning, and 5.5 hour drive from Tullamarine up here yesterday, looking at nothing but nothing.
A few nice little crops out there. We come up with Glenn Harrison, and he was in awe of the crops because his isn't going so well. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful part of the country here. I'm looking forward to the 2025 Sunraysia Spectacular, featuring our National Drivers' Championship is the final for 2025.
Quick look at the NDC point score after round 3. So coming in to this Mildura round, it's Tate Ramsey in 434 points from Connor Patterson on 418. Then we go back to Blake Ramsey driving Destiny on 398, and Scotty Cleaver in the Supernova. He has been super impressive in his first year in the National Drivers' Championship.
Some really big hitters at the front of the field there. But we've also got some big hitters. We're on 0 points coming through. So the crowd favourite, Brett Shepherd, is back in Unleashed. He's just had a run, and a super impressive run indeed.
Great to see Brett back behind the wheel of Unleashed. It's been a long time in between drinks, and having a look, we've got a few drivers that unfortunately are not here this weekend, but that is just going to add to the excitement coming up later on this afternoon with the first of our hot lap session coming up straight after our drivers briefing.
Of course, all the way over from Western Australia, Les Smith in the Mad Dog has made its way to Mildura, and he'll actually be leading out the hot laps this afternoon as the first boat out on the water.
He will be first out on the water, as you said, and closely followed by Brett Shepherd. 14 drivers have nominated for this weekend's event as far as our forced induction category. But if we have a look at what else we've got in store this weekend, it is just jam-packed. There are trophy races, there are all of the different National Drivers' Championships. Not only do we have the Battery World National Drivers' Championship for forced induction, we have the X100 for the 100 mile an hour category. We also have the Land Transport Junior National Drivers' Championship, and what a revelation that is for the sport. It's going to be unreal to foster these young kids and bring them through their powerboat career. We also have the Kavanagh Auto Parts 6 Litre National Drivers' Championship as well. 2 rounds of that coming up tomorrow and Sunday as well. So plenty to be here. Hope you're enjoying our coverage, although it's only early. This is on our GP Hydro Live. So thanks to Scotty Lambert, Neil and Paul doing the business down there. And of course, all the talk photography. Rolf Stanich come over the border from Adelaide taking some fantastic shots. Don't forget to check out all the talk photography on the Facebook pages in a couple of days' time. Let Rolf go home and start sorting through all the good ones.
Yes, indeed. He's that's a wonder he takes time away from his home in Bali. He's often enjoying himself over there. Of course, we'd like to thank our major sponsors this weekend, GTS Freight Management, Baldwin Boats, Transcool, Medex, Mildura Rural City, Gateway Mildura, and of course our charity partner this weekend is Beyond Blue, of which the Melbourne Runabout Speedboat Club have been very proud supporters of for a very long period of time. An extremely worthy cause indeed.
Yes, it certainly is. As we've got a couple more of our boats heading out the water. Sinister, Hypo, and About Time. About Time, a good story with that one with Matt Smith out of the Adelaide Speedboat Club. That boat has been around in the shed for quite some time. They've thrown an engine together and put it in for this weekend, and it's going to be great. 3 of the Smith family, all representing the Adelaide Speedboat Club. Our trophy sponsors this weekend, GTS Freight Management, of course, for the Sunraysia Gold Cup, the Keith Harrison Trophy, the Jack Kavanagh Trophy, the RJ Latini Memorial, and the Clyde Lewis. And talking to the Lewis family this morning, I spoke to Craig, and Craig is dead set keen on trying to win his father's trophy here this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. He's look at the two boats are looking fantastic in the pitch. Just had a quick look over them before. Again, a couple of highlights of today as well. We've got a Friday show and shine straight after the races here at 6:30 tonight. So if you're in town and love to come down and have a look at the show and shine, please come down and join us.
That's going to be a very highly contested competition, that one. There are so many well-presented boats here. You have a look at Mikey Johnson. You have a look at the Tattoos R Us boat of Mark Schultz, the artist. There's probably 5 or 6 contenders to take out the show and shine coming up straight after racing this afternoon. We also have a competitors' dinner, Sunday night presentation night, and the Beyond Blue fundraiser, all in a family-friendly atmosphere. I hope you can join us. The action is happening not only on the track, but also in a play every day. Lipo, the S72, just coming down the main straight now, down in towards turn number 1. Looks like Sinister coming down the back straight. That will leave about 9. Heading down into turn number 1. And just as we started talking about Matt Smith and about time, it was a bit of a misfire there going down into turn number 3. He's got the boat refired back up again, so hopefully nothing significantly wrong with that boat. They'll be able to get that turned around. Of course, they will have time now. This is only our practice sessions. We will then have a break while we have our drivers' meetings. And once that is underway, we'll be straight back out with some more action.
Because this weekend we've got the new class that's just been formed. It is the X100. So a bit of an initiative from the National Drivers' Championship to put on the X100. It's a combination of the 105s, the 95s and the 85s, because they often all switch between the classes themselves. So yeah, first round and a good little initiative here.
There's so many good things happening with these National Drivers' Championships. You were mentioning the X100 there, that's sponsored by Tattoos R Us. We have the Kavanagh Auto Parts 6-litre National Drivers' Championship, and that one's going to be pretty hotly contested. I believe there was 14 or 15 boats nominated for that one this afternoon as well. And then, of course, the one that we've been talking about already, the Land Transport Junior National Drivers' Championship for all of our Formula Future drivers, from J1, the little 6.6 horsepower, up to the 9.9s in the J2, and then the 15 horsepower boats. And that's where the majority of our field are this weekend. Some 23 boats down there in Windsor a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah, just seeing Corey Marlin going out in the 6 puppy, be going into a 6-litre class this weekend. And we've got Blake Ramsey in Destiny heading out onto the course.
Don't forget, over the weekend, all of our catering and bar facilities are available at the Mildura Ski Club all weekend. Our official merchandise is available not only here at the venue, but you can grab that online through Savage Force. And our medical and rescue services are proudly provided by MedX Medical and Retrieval Services and the FWSR Group, keeping everybody safe on and off the water this weekend at the Sunraysia Spectacular for 2025.
As you see, Blake Ramsey making his way out onto the course. It's an 18-foot child's plane, and it is running a 480 cubic inch start engine. Of course, the Ramsey boys will be out there starting amongst themselves with the As you see, Corey and the sick puppy coming past. Corey's been enjoying some good times with the sick puppy. Out on track now is Connor Patterson in Turn It Up. I was up there having a bit of a look when they were looking through the Motec before, and they were extremely happy with what the data readings were. I can't tell you what they were because they'd be giving up a few seconds, but they're pretty happy with the way it was all looking.
These two boats out on the water at the moment. Connor Patterson in Turn It Up and Blake Ramsey in Destiny. Only 20 points separating these two, with Connor Patterson currently in second position for the Battery World National Drivers' Championship. And as I said, 20 points behind is Blake Ramsey out of Geelong, Victoria, driving Destiny. So one move from Connor Patterson. If something doesn't go right, Blake Ramsey will be all over him.
Of course, this weekend too, John, we've got some outboards that are running for us this weekend. The unlimited outboards are in a point score series, so great to see that we've got a couple of outboards coming along, and hopefully we'll get to see them have a run with the Wildbacks later in the weekend.
Earlier on this morning, and had a good chat with Adam and Jared Smith out of the Adelaide Speedboat Club. They're also expecting Ryan Stunnell to be here as well. So there'll be 3 tunnel boats, all from Adelaide and all representing the Adelaide Speedboat Club. You can see Jared Smith down there behind the engine at the moment. So that is Ryan Stunnell in 91, about to be pushed off. Around the new boat for Jared Smith, a brand new to Jared. It's the ex-Cohen brothers DAC from 2016. As usual for the last 3 years, Jared tells me he's got a conservative tune in that engine, but every time he says that, he goes and cleans up the field. So I can already see the grin on his face. He's smiling like a Cheshire cat down there. So good luck to Jared and the rest of the Smith family racing team this weekend. And of course, Ryan Stunnell as well in boat number 91.
Ryan's just about to go out and have a run, I believe. We've also got Dennis Pasala in the Always Pumping, twin turboed. Dennis will be looking for some good outcomes this weekend. And we look like Brett Nidry in the BNR machines about to head out as well for another run.
Yeah, Dennis has been having all types of issues with Always Pumping, but he tells me everything has been thrown out, everything brand new on that boat for this weekend. So it was plagued by gearbox and electrical problems up there on the Gold Coast at Lake Dyer. And Brett Nidry returning to the sport after a long layoff is a guy, he just can't help himself. His customers come first. So Brett's taken a couple of months away from the sport and turning his business around, because as you can imagine, the engine whisperer, he's a very busy man.
He's a super busy man, and we had the pleasure of him crewing for us with the GP1 up at St George a couple of months ago at St George Spectacular, so it was a good weekend. He's back in the B&R machines. He's working on the new dyno that's going to be going in. We pulled the old one out, and he's working on the new one now, as he put up on Facebook during the week. And he's got a fair few customers here as well as himself to look after, so it's a very busy weekend away for Brett.
And most of them are all up in the top 5 or 6 as far as the National Drivers' Championship is concerned. We got Brett Nidri himself, the 2 Ramsey brothers, and Mark Gauci in the Immortal, sponsored by Lucas Oils. And all of those 4 drivers are on the cusp of breaking 150 miles an hour. Mark Gauci on 149.4. So only another 0.6 of a kilometre, and Mark Gauci could be the first person over 150 mile an hour in a forced induction boat. So Dennis Pasala in the Always Pumping, heading back to the boat ramp. So Brett Nidri, all out on the circuit, all by himself now. This is his 3rd run out there, so it looks like he might be chasing an issue. Great jump over the weight from Ryan Shuttle. To reel off another one of our practice laps here at the Mildura Ski Club for the Sunraysia Spectacular. And spectacular weather. I got told over there in Perth the Victoria's got crap weather.
Mate, he's going to be about 36 Sunday. Beautiful conditions here. Not a foot degrees. It's around about 24 degrees right at the moment, but it's going to heat up over the weekend. It's going to be very, very hot in those cockpits come Sunday when it's supposed to be hitting about 36. So, no, absolutely great conditions here. Lovely viewing, so come on down. Everybody that's watching today, love to see you come down and have a look, because this is a fantastic venue, beautiful grassed area. Not a hugely long track, so we're going to see some really good close racing.
To see how many competitors will be in the races, I think I'm going more towards only 4 forced alcohol boats. The rest of the categories, and for our juniors, I think they'll just throw them all in together, and there'll be little junior boats running around everywhere. It's going to be very, very difficult to call from up here once we get all of our junior drivers, and there's a lot of them here this weekend.
It's a really good field, isn't there? They're all excited for the land NDC championships around here. So
land state here this weekend, except Tasmania and Canberra and Darwin. But everywhere else, Les Smith travelled over from Western Australia. We've got the Satterleys from South Australia, and of course the Smiths. Lots of locals here, so it'll be the parochial Victorians going after the Victorians, the homegrown boys, and of course lots coming from Sydney. And also Ivy Mack is down from the Gold Coast with Sick Puppy in Corey Marlin. So yeah, it's great to see so many people doing some kilometres and giving us a great field of numbers at all of our powerboat races here this year.
And of course the Decision and the Image all the way down as well. Long drive. They love driving. They absolutely lap it up. So no, it's really good to see. Lots and lots of sponsors this weekend. Of course, we do thank all of our sponsors for assisting us. It's always very important. Again, our charity partner is Beyond Blue to raise awareness for mental health, so extremely important to us. GTS Freight Management, naming rights, Baldwin Boats, Transcool, Medex, Mildura Rural City Council, Gateway Mildura, which is where the show and shine is this afternoon, I believe. So it'd be fantastic to be out there this afternoon, around about 6:30, I believe, 6:45, somewhere around that time frame. So yeah, no, we do thank our sponsors. Of course, Land Transport transported all the equipment down here during the week, I noticed on Facebook. So big effort from the Land Transport guys to have given up the truck for the day and brought down all the equipment.
made a fatal mistake this morning in an interview with Sherry Lee and Ben Land. I said that he was driving a B-double, but it wasn't. It's actually a road train, so it's actually bigger. And the amount of gear that Ben has brought up, again, he did the same thing for the Yarrawonga as well, coming down into Melbourne to pick up a whole lot of boats, including the 2 safety boats. Then they were put on the back and then hauled up to Yarrawonga as well. So it's people like Benny and Sherry Lee that really make powerboat racing what it is today. And trophy that's coming up on Sunday, mate. It's one that's pretty close to you and Harrow's heart, is the Keith Harrison Trophy. We'll see that on Sunday, and that is for all of our unlimited boats. It's one of the premier races over this weekend at the Mildura Ski Club. The Keith Harrison Trophy celebrates the fastest and most powerful craft on the water, and it's always a highlight for any of the Melbourne Runnerboat and Speedboat Club events. Expect spectacular racing and big speeds as the competitive part of this highly respected club honour.
Yeah, it's a big trophy normally run at not Club each year. It has been run elsewhere. Grant was actually lucky enough to win it one year when it was run at Pikes Creek, because obviously you can't run a Grand Prix hydroplane on tight courses like this. But last year's winner, Craig Bailey, in the outboard. So the 3 outboard guys will have a crack at this one and try to keep the outboard flag going for another year in the Keith Harrison Trophy, which will be run on Sunday afternoon.
That's where those tunnel boats are going to come into their own, because we have seen it before that these tunnel boats can just drive right around, or they can hug the pins nice and close, and they can corner a lot quicker than a forced induction boat or a displacement boat. So yeah, it's going to be great to see that these outboards, the tunnels, going head to head with all of our forced induction drivers.
Yeah, we saw it at Windsor a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? The King of the River last race of the day, and saw all the NDC guys out there having a crack, but at the end of the day, it was an outboard just got out.
About 2 years, or 3 years ago now, that family from Adelaide, the Smiths came over, and Jared took out the Stannard Cup up against some blown boats, including, who was there? There was Stunnell, he was there in excess. Of course, we had Dave Clark up here as well. A couple of the racing guys about these tunnel boats. They are, I wouldn't say they've got the horsepower in a straight line, but it's their cornering where they really start to clobber those
Careful. And light acceleration is really good, tight turning, so it's really fantastic. Of course, we're here for the National Drivers' Championship today, so that is proudly sponsored by Battery World, and their naming rights out to the 2027 season. So Battery World have come on board, have been fantastic sponsors of the National Drivers' Championship and the forced induction, and it is just fantastic news that they've extended out to 2027.
And for those maybe first time here at the Sunraysia Spectacular, keep your eye on the TV coming up in the next couple of weeks. And while you're waiting, you can jump on to 7 Mate and 7 Plus and search Circuit Boat Racing, and you can catch up with all of the rounds of the Battery World National Drivers Championship. And as I said, this one will drop in a couple of weeks' time. And Australia's best run around here at the Mildura Ski Club. So it's going a little bit quiet out there on the circuit, so that may be it for practice at the moment. And Connor Patterson and Brett Nidry heading back up into the paddock area. Some more of our trophies were the Clyde Lewis. The second 6-litre round will carry the Clyde Lewis Trophy. Another prestigious race will test endurance and consistency with championship points and club pride on the line. Together, these 2 rounds will set the tone for the season ahead in one of Australia's most
We've got some unbelievable close racing. anyone can win it on the day. There's no clear favourite in the 6-litre class, that's for certain.
Of course, they're, I'd say, loosely based on the 6-litre NASCAR engines. Most of them are Dodge powered. Area here, and it looks like the juniors might be getting ready to hit the water. And of course, we talked the other Jack Kavanagh Trophy, and that's a long-standing award that recognises excellence in 6-litre racing and celebrates one of the club's most respected
NBC's a run on a point score series, and today's hot laps will be going towards points, which goes towards the series, and then of course the hot laps will determine all the victories. Thereafter will be performed after they've gone across the line. So super important that this afternoon is going to be some hot laps, and then we'll
here with the driver of Addicted in Michael Johnson out of Victoria. Well. And mate, I saw you up there at Lockyer a few months ago, and you'd have to be impressed with the debut of the new motor.
Oh, definitely, mate. It was a good thing to get off our shoulders. It was a long journey with this engine of, getting it from America and it not being what it should have been, and Trevor Stanley being able to step in, rebuild it. So yeah, it's a powerhouse that we needed now.
And down at Windsor a couple of weeks ago, a fairly consistent run for you down there?
Well, no, it's sort of, we were able to do practice, and then we found a damage with the boat, so we had to pull out for the weekend.
That's not good news. So no. Obviously all the repairs have been carried out, and you're ready for a big one this weekend here at the Sunraysia Spectacular at the Mildura Ski Club.
Absolutely, mate. Yep, no, she's ready to go.
Going back to Lockyer then, you certainly raised a few people's eyebrows and got the big boys worried about what's in store once more development happens with the boat and the motor.
Yeah, look, we'll see. I mean, we're coming to have a bit of fun and play, mate. So, if we can, we did a lot better at Lockyer than we thought we were going to. So, yeah, we're pretty positive.
So, what's the expectations for this weekend?
Mate, if I finish the weekend, I'm chuffed. That's still where we're at. We're still at just, go home with the boat running at for the next race meeting. So, that's our expectations and hopes.
Well, good luck for the weekend, mate. It's going to be a ripper weekend and very busy for you blown guys.
Oh, yes. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. The driver of Addicted in Michael Johnson out of Victoria. Of our sport, they need to be nurtured and looked after, and their races are always full of skill, enthusiasm and incredible sportsmanship. And as I said to a couple of people this morning, you have a look at all of the other junior sport like cricket and football. There's Auskick, there's Kangaroo cricket. We have the National Drivers Championship for powerboat racing for young kids. And there was a story that one of I think it was JD, when he goes to school and they take photos into school and show their classmates what they've done on the weekend. People just can't believe that they're actually out there racing a powerboat.
Is that all right?
Down here at the land racing outfit for this weekend at the Sunraysia Spectacular, and I'm joined with Sherry Lee and Ben Land. And guys, you haven't been around the sport very long, but I tell you what, the impact that land transport are having is just sensational. It's great for the sport.
Oh, look, it's great. We love the fact that it's getting all the kids out on the water. It's a real, a family event. The kids have met so many friends through it. Yeah, we love it. Great sport.
And of course you're right behind the National Drivers Championship for our juniors, which is a great thing. Everything from J1 up to J3 in the Formula Future category. And as you said, the kids are making friends. It's a great environment, better than their head down on an iPad.
Absolutely. I remember when Rob first contacted Ben, and then Ben put him in contact with me and mentioned it, and I was like, we didn't even give it a second thought to jump on board, to give all the kids, the experience, because obviously they look up to the big boats, and obviously that's their goal after all. And to be able to give them a chance to be involved in an NDC at such an early age, I think is really important to keep the motivation and want to do it. keep going.
Well, it's not only looking after McKinley and JD's boat, but you're also doing a lot for the clubs as well. We see Benny with the big B double up there at Yarrawonga.
Road train.
And then,
Don't call it a B double.
We'll call it a road train. And of course helping out the Victorian Speedboat Club. And then again this weekend, you got a big load on board as I just pan around there. There's Benny's truck over there in the background. Ben, being a truck driver, long hours on the road and then long hours here at the boat racing.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was at work the other day, and it was the first time that I've ever actually been there while Ben has actually loaded, and I tell you what, the work that went into it, I now have an appreciation for what Ben does for, you know, our kids plus every other kid. It's a big job, but we love it. We love the sport. Ben loves doing it, you know. Great.
And we got to talk about the range of merch. Where did you come with all of these vibrant colours? Sensational effort. They really stand out. You can tell who's right behind Land Transport.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I've always been a crafty sort of person. I love doing it. I have, you know, I started out making my own, and then I said to Ben, let's, you know, get some more done. And it's just progress from there and there. And I love it being bright. I love it being, you know, where we can stand in the crowd and someone goes, oh, it's a Land racing hat over there. So, yeah.
Well, it's great to have you on board as naming rights sponsors for the National Drivers' Championship, sponsored by Land Transport. Ben and Sherry Lee, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you. Have a good weekend. And remember, we all float down here.
Capture every lasting minute. So yeah, if you haven't seen it on 7 Plus, jump on, stream it, just type in, what is it, Circuit Boat Racing Australia, I think it is, and that'll get you straight on. So if you want to watch the action tonight from previously, because you think, wow, that's cool, just jump onto that. It's great fun.
Lift the tail.
Here with Adam Smith out of the Adelaide Speedboat Club. And Adam, you've brought your F1 across to Sunraysia Spectacular this year. Tell us a little bit about the boat.
So this is a 2002 Seabold. It was built in America, came over to Australia quite a while ago, and I've been campaigning this boat for the last 10 seasons. It's a timber construction boat with a composite cockpit. I find it very predictable, easy to drive. Got a conservative setup on the engine, just aim for consistency, turning laps and having fun.
It's got to be a real buzz to drive one of these Formula One boats. Obviously they haven't got the width, so it makes your cornering unbelievably quick. You know, they're pulling 3, 4, sometimes maybe 5 Gs.
That's right. There's no feeling that compares to hitting a corner flat out and hooking left. You've got to hold your head up straight because it tries to pull over. You're pulling a couple of Gs around every corner, and your right foot is planted throughout the whole turning process. It's very exciting and a lot of fun.
So pretty much you adjust the attitude of the boat by a couple of paddles that are mounted behind the steering wheel.
That's right.
I heard it was 3 clicks up and 3 clicks down.
In an ideal world, yeah, if everything's working well, you will hit the corner, trim down, boat will slam down and do what we call suck. So it'll suck into the water, sponsons will be into the water, and that will allow it to turn left at full throttle.
And one thing I find really peculiar about this boat is that you have a look at the boat and you see their performance, you would think on glassy water that these boats will really go, but that's not the case, is it? It makes the water sticky.
That's right. We do prefer just a little bit of ripple, a little bit of wind coming down the course. It'll get under the sponsons, give the boat more lift, and it'll perform slightly better in 5 to 10 k's of breeze.
Well, you've got less drag. There's only about 8 inches of the rear of the hull actually making contact with the water. As you said, it's a wind tunnel from the front sponsons or the pickle forks all the way down to the back of the boat.
That's right. It's very similar to an aircraft. It is all about wind and air lift, dragging the boat out of the water, getting as little possible hull in the water, and all floating on the air like a plane.
Driving for Adam's Test and Tune out of Adelaide, Adam Smith.
Thank you very much, Vaughan.
Yeah, beautiful little timber boat, isn't it? A bit unusual in the class to see the timber boats, but yeah, it looks very nice indeed. As you said, he's just coming past now in the Popeye with a bit of Maritino sponsorship down the side of it.
Of course, Maritimo, the name behind those big, large offshore powerboats, and of course, pleasure craft as well. We also will have Little Fugitive, Flynn Walker, White Knuckles, Sam Garland, and Little Liberty with McKinley Land as well in the J130. So it won't be long before we see some more of our J2s out there running cool. Sienna King, Mad Dog Racing, Harrison Merritt, and Phantom Racing with Tatum Tiafilivic. That's a hard one. Harrow, you can call that one. Right, Charlie's been able to get in front of the second of the blue boats and starting to put a little bit of gap between himself and the third and fourth are having a good crack side by side.
That's the Revolution just coming past us now, so I'm not sure if they're actually racing or not at this point in time. They're actually just doing their practice runs at the minute, so yes.
Probably the first of our heat races. Charlie's boat sitting nice and flat in the water. Probably 10 or 12 inches of contact on the hull. The less hull contact, the less drag. But you've got to stop it from porpoising. These guys don't have a automatic trim device on that motor to lift it up or put it down in the water. They change where they are located in the seat. So by shifting your body weight, you make the attitude of the boat either calm down or you can make it fly a little bit higher by sitting further back. They don't have a great deal of horsepower, as you can see, so it's all about momentum and keeping that speed up. Some of the tips that I've seen is that they actually put mechanical locks on the side of these boats so that the kids can't turn them excessively, which will slow them down and start the prop cavitating. And it also creates a hell of a lot of drag when that leg is sideways in the water instead of its normal position. So black flag, everybody returning back. I reckon this might be just a practice run for our juniors.
It does look like that at this point in time because we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lined up ready to go. So there's plenty of them, 4 out there at the minute. And it's good to see the juniors all obeying the black flag. As soon as they've seen it, they've come in. Unlike some of the adult competitors who just don't worry about any flags.
Isn't it funny, Paul, that the juniors, they go by the book, don't they? And they do put their adults to shame.
Do. So for anybody that's new to powerboat racing or at home, we have the flag system, of course, that you need to follow. Black flag is returning to bank. Red flag is absolutely everybody has to stop. The white flag with the cross on it is the caution flag. The white flag is in the hands of the starter. And the green flag is go, 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 as they're waving it now for the second tranche of the juniors to go out and have a bit of a warm-up.
Bisho and I always have this conversation about when will somebody make a decision and make it an international standard for the coloured flags to be the same. Doesn't matter what discipline motorsport it is, whether it's circuit racing or speedboat racing. If they would all just get together and have the same flags meaning the same thing.
Oh, there's only one flag you want, mate, and is the one that is universal, and it is the checkered flag. And of course, I did forget the yellow flag is 1 lap to go. So we'll see that a little later this afternoon, and we'll run through those flags again for tomorrow in case people that are on the bank here today or at home are fairly new to the sport and just want to know what's going on. But yeah, there is one flag, mate, that's universal, and it's the one that everyone, it is the black and white checker.
That's a great example, Paul, that yellow flag, because in motor racing and car racing, yellow flag is a caution flag. So it's a bit different when it comes to powerboat racing. But yeah, one day we'll all get an international standard and be speaking the same language.
Oh, we are a little bit special in powerboat racing. I mean, we do race on a racetrack that moves and changes every single lap, unlike our competitors in car racing. They've got the same track every single time, unless a few little sprinkles of rain hit the track.
Yeah, when I first started commentating speedboat racing, I was waiting for the track to actually rubber in and get a groove happening, and the groove kept moving. And so the wake of the boats, as I see the Revolution boys coming back in. And I can see 007 out there as well. I can see she's a rival. That's Emerson Walker. JD Land down there, McKinley Land as well. Through another two of our juniors just coming past 10:20, and that's McKinley Land out there. There's a little bit of porpoising happening there with McKinley's boat. She is pretty much brand new to this sport. She was down there in Windsor for her first race meeting a couple of weeks ago. So her second race meeting out there this weekend at the Sunraysia Spectacular here at the spectacular Mildura Ski Club. What great facilities and a great viewing area that this facility has. Looks like we'll be given the black flag next time through. As Paul's just mentioned, return to pits next time through for our, I believe these would be our J3 or J2s, 3, sorry. That might be Caden Thomas out there. In the Reckless. A few to keep your eye on this weekend. A little untidy Levi Witten, he's always up the front there. Of course, JD Land, he's been running some seconds and thirds. Lucas Millington, not far off the pace either. Daniel Shaw, it's pretty open, and you've got a little nuts as well. Maxie Cameron, he's a hard little charger as well. They're very hard to pick a winner. Of course, Jack Hinton in Crackerjack as well. That's another name and another boat to keep an eye on over the weekend. So black flag on display, and it looks like the kids are going to come straight in. Send some more out. Looks like we've got a big field ready to go for this particular heat of our practice. Well, we'll take a short break up here from commentary while we grab a drink and get ourselves organised. Not too far away now for the start of the official proceedings for the Sunraysia Spectacular here at the Mildura Ski Club. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on GP Hydro live streaming. And if you'd like to tell your friends and neighbours about it, go to the GP Hydro live streaming website. And there will be a link there that you can get on. Please don't accept links from anywhere else besides GP Hydro live streaming. And a big thank you to Scotty Lambert, Neil Cullis and Paul down there. Paul's probably got the prime position down there under a gazebo sticking out on the little grass sector. And Neil up on top of the caravan. And inside that caravan is the hardest working man of a lot of the teams here this weekend. Of course, that is Scotty Lambert. He has got arms like an octopus, that guy. Does so much running around and so much things to do while the race meeting is on. But he does a fantastic job, and I hope you enjoy what you will see, the live stream. Coming to you from the Mildura Ski Club for the 2025 Sunraysia Spectacular. We'll take a break. We'll be back very shortly. turn number 1 for the second time. Nice boat flying down there. Boat in second just did a really big wheel stand. Must have hit JD's wake on the way down to them through the main straight down there into turn number 1. As we said, it's all about momentum and trying to keep some speed, particularly in the corners. And then, as you can see, JD's boat flying across the top of the water. It's beautiful and flat at the moment. At the boat in second. For the boat a lot higher out of the water than JD's in front of him, and the same for the boat in third at the moment as well. Try and pick up on who second and third are as they come across the finish line. Short, sharp practice sessions here for our juniors as they prepare for round 2 of the Land Transport National Championship here at the Mildura Ski Club for the 2025 Sunraysia Spectacular. And they've all seen the black flag and returning back into the pit area, and I think that might be it for our practice sessions for the juniors. So I know there's one more to go.
Hello, yes. One more tranche to go,
Yep.
Gordon. So we've got that many.
Mate, we've just been told we're going to take a short break. We'll be back very, very shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. He's look at the two boats are looking fantastic in the pitch. Just had a quick look over them before. Again, a couple of highlights for today as well. We've got a Friday show and shine straight after the races here at 6:30 tonight. So if you're in town and love to come down and have a look at the show and shine, please come down and join us.
That's going to be a very highly contested competition, that one. There are so many well-presented boats here. You have a look at Mikey Johnson. You have a look at the Tattoos R Us boat of Mark Schultz, the artist. There's probably 5 or 6 contenders to take out the show and shine coming up straight after racing this afternoon. We also have a competitors dinner, Sunday night presentation night, and the Beyond Blue fundraiser, all in a family-friendly atmosphere. I hope you can join us. The action happening not only on the track, but also in a play every day. Hypo, the S72, just coming down the main straight now, down in towards turn number 1. Looks like Sinister coming down the back straight, and that will leave about time. Heading down into turn number 1. And just as we started talking about Matt Smith and about time, it was a bit of a misfire there going down into turn number 3. He's got the boat refired back up again, so hopefully nothing significantly wrong with that boat. They'll be able to get that turned around. Of course, they will have time now. This is only our practice sessions. We will then have a break while we have our drivers' meetings. And once that is underway, we'll be straight back out with some more action.
Because this weekend we've got the new class that's just been formed. It is the X100. So a bit of an initiative from the National Drivers' Championship to put on the X100. It's a combination of the 105s, the 95s and the 85s, because they often all switch between the classes themselves. So yeah, first round and a good little initiative here.
There's so many good things happening with these National Drivers' Championships. You were mentioning the X100 there, that's sponsored by Tattoos R Us. We have the Kavanagh Auto Parts 6-litre National Drivers' Championship, and that one's going to be pretty hotly contested. I believe there was 14 or 15 boats nominated for that one this afternoon as well. And then, of course, the one that we've been talking about already, the Land Transport Junior National Drivers' Championship for all of our Formula Future drivers, from J1, the little 6.6 horsepower, up to the 9.9s in the J2, and then the 15 horsepower boats. And that's where the majority of our field are this weekend. Some 23 boats down there in Windsor a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah, just seeing Corey Marlin going out in the 6 puppy, be going into a 6-litre class this weekend. And we've got Blake Ramsey in Destiny heading out onto the course.
Don't forget, over the weekend, all of our catering and bar facilities are available at the Mildura Ski Club all weekend. Our official merchandise is available not only here at the venue, but you can grab that online through Savage Force. And our medical and rescue services are proudly provided by MedX Medical and Retrieval Services and the FWSR Group, keeping everybody safe on and off the water this weekend at the Sunraysia Spectacular for 2025.
As you see, Blake Ramsey making his way out onto the course. It's an 18-foot child's plane, and it is running a 480 cubic inch long supercharged engine. Of course, the Ramsey boys will be out there fighting amongst themselves with the championship points. As you see, Corey and the sick puppy coming past, Corey's been enjoying some good times in the sick puppy. Out on track now is Connor Patterson in Turn It Up. I was up there having a bit of a look when they were looking through the Motec before, and they were extremely happy with what the data readings were. I can't tell you what they were because they'd be giving up a few secrets, but they're pretty happy with the way it was all looking.
These two boats out on the water at the moment, Connor Patterson in Turn It Up and Blake Ramsey in Destiny. Only 20 points separating these two, with Connor Patterson currently in second position for the Battery World National Drivers' Championship. And as I said, 20 points behind is Blake Ramsey out of Geelong, Victoria, driving Destiny. So one move from Connor Patterson. If something doesn't go right, Blake Ramsey will be all over him.
Of course, this weekend too, Ron, we've got some outboards that are running for us this weekend. The unlimited outboards are in a point score series, so great to see that we've got a couple of outboards coming along, and hopefully we'll get to see them have a run against the blind boats later in the weekend.
Earlier on this morning, and had a good chat with Adam and Jared Smith out of the Adelaide Speedboat Club. They're also expecting Ryan Stunnell to be here as well. So there'll be 3 tunnel boats, all from Adelaide and all representing the Adelaide Speedboat Club. I can see Jared Smith down there behind the engine at the moment. So that is Ryan Stunnell in 91, about to be pushed off. Around the new boat for Jared Smith, a brand new to Jared. It's the ex-Cohen brothers DAC from 2016. As usual for the last 3 years, Jared tells me he's got a conservative tune in that engine, but every time he says that, he goes and cleans up the field. So I can already see the grin on his face. He's smiling like a Cheshire cat down there. So good luck to Jared and the rest of the Smith family racing team this weekend. And of course, Ryan Stunnell as well in boat number 91.
Ryan's just about to go out and have a run, I believe. We've also got Dennis Pasala in the Always Pumping, twin turboed. Dennis will be looking for some good outcomes this weekend. And it looked like Brett Nidry in the BNR machine's about to head out as well for another run.
Yeah, Dennis has been having all types of issues with Always Pumping, but he tells me everything has been thrown out, everything brand new on that boat for this weekend. So it was plagued by gearbox and electrical problems up there on the Gold Coast at Lake Dyer. And Brett Nidry returning to the sport after a long layoff is a guy, he just can't help himself. His customers come first. So Brett's taken a couple of months away from the sport and turning his business around, because as you can imagine, the engine whisperer, he's a very busy man.
He's a super busy man, and we had the pleasure of him crewing for us with the GP1 up at St George a couple of months ago at St George Spectacular, so it was a good weekend. He's back in the B&R machines. He's working on the new dyno that's going to be going in. We pulled the old one out, and he's working on the new one now, as he put up on Facebook during the week. And he's got a fair few customers here as well as himself to look after, so it's a very busy weekend away for Brett.
And most of them are all up in the top 5 or 6 as far as the National Drivers' Championship is concerned. We got Brett Nidri himself, the 2 Ramsey brothers, and Mark Gauci in the Immortal, sponsored by Lucas Oils. And all of those 4 drivers are on the cusp of breaking 150 miles an hour. Mark Gauci on 149.4. So only another 0.6 of a kilometre, and Mark Gauci could be the first person over 150 mile an hour in a forced induction boat. So Dennis Pasala in the Always Pumping, heading back to the boat ramp. Ryan Stanley. So Brett Nidri, all out on the circuit, all by himself now. He's this is his 3rd run out there, so it looks like he might be chasing an issue. Big jump over the weight from Ryan Stanley. To reel off another one of our practice laps here at the Mildura Ski Club for the Sunraysia Spectacular. And spectacular weather. I got told over there in Perth that Victoria's got crap weather.
Mate, you're going to be about 36 Sunday. Beautiful conditions here. Not a foot degrees. It's around about 24 degrees right at the moment, but it's going to heat up over the weekend. It's going to be very, very hot in those cockpits come Sunday when it's supposed to be hitting about 36. So, no, absolutely great conditions here. Lovely viewing, so come on down. Everybody that's watching today at home, love to see you come down and have a look, because this is a fantastic venue, beautiful grassed area, and not a hugely long track, so we're going to see some really good close racing.
To see how many competitors will be in the races, I think I'm going more towards only 4 forced alcohol boats. The rest of the categories, and for our juniors, I think they'll just throw them all in together, and there'll be little junior boats running around everywhere. It's going to be very, very difficult to call from up here once we get all of our junior drivers, and there's a lot of them here this weekend.
It's a really good field, isn't there? They're all excited for the land.
That boat there, Dave, from Taree on the mid-north coast. So Matty Rendoff, he's second. But Cobra, Alex Wilbo leads out with 1 to go, 1 to go. So Rendoff still holding second. Eliminator, Anthony Nibbs in third. 1 to go on the West Cranes. Back straight. So about a half a lap for Rendoff to make an impression here on Wilbo. Good corner by Wilbo. Rendoff comes back to the inside.
Great run here to the line for LB Earthworks, and it's going to be the Cobra taking the win over the Rendo Tech, and running into third place will be the Eliminator. So those guys. Righto, Linny, we have got the Hawkesbury Outboard Cup Mono. So this is mono racing, and I'm very excited to see this get down to the bank because we've got some wild boats. The Blue Bayou, the Hollow Point, the Power Marine, the Stealth, and Force Awakens with Bobo Bickerton, who's got a banner across the road there. We've also got Nathan Cleaver in Stealth there as well as they fire down the front chute.
I tell you what, look at this, Dave. On the West Cranes back straight, leading into ETS.
First corner's going to be a belter, mate, as they go in. Blue Bayou is the pole boat. It's a Troy Craft hull with Evinrude power on the back. It pains me to say, but they all get through nice and clean. I thought that could have gone pear shape, but we're away and have a look at Cleaver in Stealth. The little bullet getting the number done as they fire down the front chute.
Yeah, doing a great job. Benucci back in third. Hollow Point.
Oh!
Mitch Perry.
Tight. Blue Bayou there. Just runs through the wash of the Stealth. Paddy Benucci, he was in the thick of it there as well as he got a big hose off on the outside of him. It's Mitchell Perry in the Hollow Point, and then rounding out the field, Bo Bickerton in the Force Awakens.
So coming out of ETS, the bridge turn onto the LB Earthworks front straight. A clean pair of heels being shown by Nathan Cleaver in Stealth.
Nathan's super quick in this thing. I tell you what, this Troy Craft is crack-a-lacking along beautifully. The Blue Bayou machine is Des Marsland. Then it's back to Power Marine with Paddy Benucci. Running into fourth place is a little 1850 bullet there of Mitchell Perry in the Hollow Point. And Bo Bickerton rounding out the field in the Force Awakens as they go down through the bottom turn.
So Nathan around ETS onto the LB Earthworks front straight, receiving the yellow flag and one to go.
So Stealth now charging hard down the front straight away. Yellow flag picked up, one to go for Nathan Cleaver there in the 1700 bullet tunnel deck. He's nearly going to be uncatchable from here.
Blue Bayou won't give in though. So Blue Bayou around Rotorcut. He's had some difficulty in these corners. The big Troy Craft doesn't like these short courses, Dave.
I don't know, mate. It's looking pretty good to me, to be honest. At Hook, oh, look at that wild ride for Power Marine. Over-trimmed on the exit of the corner there, and he loses some ground there, Paddy Benucci. And that left the door open for Mitchell Perry to just make up a little bit of ground in Hollow Point, but he can't get over the top of him. But it's all going to be Stealth as we're picking up the Stealth boat down the front straight away. And he'll take the win, but the real battle's going on. Behind him, Blue Bayou, a great second place there for Des Maslin. Great drive there from Des. Running up into third place is a drag race to the line now, but it's going to be the Force hull over the bullet hole there. So we've got Paddy Benucci coming in over the top of Mitchell Perry, and rounding out the field, Bo Bickerton in the Force Awakens.
Well, there you go, Stealth.
Titan. Should be Transonic out there as well. I can't see. Well, pick them up as they come down for the start. Supernova. Scotty Cleaver out there. There we go. 4. White flag down and away we go. Cabs is out there and it looks like Titan has failed straight off the line. So Dave Satterley having all types of trouble. 3 wide through turn 1 if you don't mind. Have a look at Brendan Walsh in cabs. Goes straight underneath the 2 blown alcohol boats. Rides away in the 6 metre. Now the blown alcohol boat of Blake Ramsey. Now Blake Ramsey looks like he's got issues and pulls on the right hand side.
Wow, well, it's not going well for the Ramsey family at the moment. I'll tell you what it is going good for is Brenton Walsh in the cabs. What a run from him, Vaughan.
Only 2 boats left now. Supernova with Scotty Cleaver. Can he run down this 6 litre of the cabs boat of Brendan Walsh? He starts to hit the lumpy water over there on the entry into turn number 2. Coming through the corner, holding some good throttle is Brendan Walsh and keeps the boat pretty flat on the way out. He's drawn. Now he hits a roller. They're doing a great job over the blown alcohol boat.
Brendan Walsh charging hard now on the 6 litre boat. This is for the Les Spears Memorial. And of course, the owner of Brenton's boat's grandfather raced against Les Spears, so there's a little bit of synergy in there, mate, if I can draw the line, but he's doing a great job down the back.
Listen to that thing sing. That is like a NASCAR at Daytona or Talladega. Wide open. A lot of the guys running the Dodge engines.
Scotty Cleaver doing a good job. Let's not forget, mate, this is his real first weekend in this boat, so Scotty's doing a great job in the Supernova as well. Yellow flags out. 1 to go for these guys now.
Rolf's doing a great job in cabs. Has at least half the main straight between himself and Scotty Cleaver in the ex-Rob Pasala boat, and it's gone quiet. Why? Scotty Cleaver just off the gas early, mate.
Those turbos are inherently a bit quieter anyway, aren't they, than the blown boats?
Yep.
You think Scotty might have an issue there, but Brenton Walsh doing a great job as he cracks down the back straight away. Tips it into the bottom turn here at this mighty Yarrawonga course. And heat number 2 of the Les Spears is going to go to the 6 litre boat, Cavs. Brenton Walsh gets the job done beautifully. Second place is going to be Scotty Cleaver in the Supernova.
So hopefully we'll have 1 more heat to come for the Les Spears, depending on how many boats are actually left and still in workable order. It's been a long, hard weekend for all of our competitors, but particularly the unlimited displacement guys.
Hey Vaughan, I just had a quick, I haven't been down and looked at the boat, but I saw some vision of Lay It On, and the deck is broken away from that boat. So at bare minimum, it's got some deck damage. I'd say they'd probably, I wouldn't be surprised if the stringers are broken in that boat, the bearers that hold the engine. That tends to be what happens in a big impact like that. So we won't see that boat again for a little while, unfortunately.
No, that's very unfortunate for the Leighton family and Tate Ramsey.
Brand new boat too.
Yeah, brand new, and geez, it had some speed. Unbelievable speed down the back straight. Now, obviously, a lot of it's got to do with the motor on board. We know it's a big 560 supercharged motor with a big PSI on it. There's got to be something else. Is it prop selection? Is it the cab plate setting? What gives you that massive difference in speed?
Well, I don't think that it and Odin do have a massive difference in speed. I think Odin is probably nearly as quick, but it's the way they deliver the power between turbos and superchargers. As you saw on the previous lap, down the back straight, they swapped places twice. So Odin's just as quick as well, but it's just about how you put the power down. The run you get, sometimes it can just be good luck. Sometimes you get a little bit of a trough of smooth water and you can get the boat going and get it settled, whereas the guy next to you might get a couple of rollers or some crosswash or something and he can't quite get the power down. And that's when you see those big speed differences when someone will get away, because they just get that little trough that they can run in and they can... Quick, mate, all weekend. Caleb Fries,
the 1.6 litre.
Test 1, 2. doesn't bother him. He finds onto it. Ricky Howard looked...
This is the best field in Australia. There's no doubt about it. This is the Aussie Championship. And one of the things they take, both him and Darren are taking out of this, is they get to see how the best do it. They get to sit in their lines, and you can see the boat speed out of Mitch. He's sitting in the wash of the boat in front of him. Austin McDonald, second fastest qualifier. He's just sucking it all in, Dave. Just absorbing it
like a sponge.
And that will help him. But that engine sounds very, very nice on the problem child.
Sound really good considering it was apart last night, so they've done a great job.
Clock ticks down now. You and Brick are about to pick up another lap. That beautiful factory DAC of the Stars and Stripes of TBR across the start finish.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2025 Sunraysia Spectacular here at the Mildura.
Lucas Oils definitely starting to push up on the back of the blue machine in front of him.
Yeah, holding fire there. So Nick Coles looking at Reece Coles. Would this be tactical maybe from Reece Coles? He knows he's probably being the championship leader at the moment and having a little bit of a points gap over these guys. Doesn't need to do anything silly here today.
It's a really good point, Dave. Obviously these engines in this 2.5 litre.
100 National Drivers' Championship sponsored by Tattoos R Us. It's Tantrum and Justin McLeish. Just waiting to get off the trailer. He's going to be first into the water. And Paul, as we went through with our preview, and it's going to be a great weekend of racing here at the Mildura Ski Club.
Test, got it going. Thank you. So it's going to be exciting. We've got 14 boats running in the X100 class today. So it's the first time that the X100 has been run. Of course, we're combining a 105, a 95 and an 85 mile an hour class to bring them back to restricted to 100 miles. You'll be disqualified and out of the running and the points. So as I said, we've got 14 runners in this one this afternoon. Then we'll be running into the 6 litre hot laps. World National Drivers' Championship. It's going to be this afternoon, and then we've got some racing. We've got 5 races coming up this afternoon, being some senior racing. So we've got 3 heats of the X100s, which will be pole position and heat number will be determined from the times they're going to put out there now. Then we're going to be having race number 4 and number 5, which will be the first rounds of the 6 litre National Drivers' Championship. So lots and lots of action to come this afternoon for day 1 of the 2025 Sunraysia Spectacular here at the Mildura Ski Club.
And we welcome up into the commentary box John Contract, one of the locals from the Mildura area and a member of the Mildura Ski Club. And he's going to join us up here for some commentary today. John, welcome to the commentary box.
Very much, guys. Great to be down here, and what a spectacular layout you've got here for the running of the Sunraysia Spectacular here this weekend. This should be a boomer of a weekend for everybody, not only locally here that get an opportunity to come down, for those visitors that have made the trek already here for the Friday, and then they'll operate down here on Saturday and Sunday. They'll see the best of fast action on the water here. This location here at the Mildura Ski Club has seen it over the years with our running of our Mildura 100 and some other events that we've had here as well. But this will be one of those ones that the locals and others will need to come down and have a look at. It'll be absolutely spectacular, Vaughan.
What we've seen over the last 18 months or so is that a lot of the ski races are in a bit of limbo at the moment. We've seen some of them defecting to circuit boat racing, and it's great. And we've got one out there that's a front runner, and that's Scotty Cleaver in the Supernova coming up in the Battery World National Drivers' Championship. He's made the move from ski racing into circuit boat racing and finds himself within the top 5 of the Battery World National Drivers' Championship.
That's great to see. They've seen the light. They have really seen the light. Now there's plenty running around, which is fantastic to see. And of course, we've got a little bit of a mixture of boats in the X100. You can run an open cockpit boat if you wish to. You can run enclosed cockpit. So we've got a bit of a mixture of particular craft and engine capacities for this one. The only real rule is don't exceed the 100 mile an hour.
That's it. So we can only call it as we see it because that 95 more, that 100 miles.
we might have Warlord at pole 1. GP1 on the outside 2. Bit of reverse rolls from the Riverside final yesterday afternoon. So whether this pole switch is going to have a massive impact on the end result. These two guys out on the water playing amongst themselves for this unlimited hydroplane heat. Original plan was to have 3 boats, but unfortunately GP101 is still on the trailer.
Similar is Ricochet, and Ricochet's Jake Wilson. We've also got Glenn Roberts, should be out there in Motivation, Excalibur, Chris Dynan, Sinister, Scott Knudsen, Phil Smirlik in Jimbo, Matt Smith in About Time, Lewis Mills driving Hypo, Nick Borg in Pro Performance, Mick McCardle driving Hombre, Mark Schultz, the man behind Tattoos R Us, the naming rights sponsor for this National Drivers' Championship. He's out there in his beautifully presented boat called Artist. Mike Godsell driving Moonshine, and Steve Rumble in Cut Cat Racing. And as Bisho says time and time again, if you're into cats, and check out his Facebook page, lots of cats there.
All right, it's a 1 lap dash, and we will time it, but it will be unofficial timing from us, so we'll give you a time at the end of this one.
So Justin down into turn number 1. Nice entry and still picking up that throttle mid-corner. Now he unloads. Tantrum down the back straight, keeps the boat nice and flat in the water. He's got the best of the conditions at the moment. Very, very still down there on the backside of the track as he comes into turn number 2, and slowed considerably and has actually come to a stop by the look of that. So unfortunately, the first of our runners, Tantrum and Justin McLeish, in all types of trouble down there in turn 2.
Will be the next one away, boys, and he looks pretty keen to get out there once we clear the circuit with our boat up the far end there.
No benchmark time at the moment, which is a shame because we did want to get a benchmark in, but the one more, what a paint job. That is unbelievable.
It's awesome. I think that used to be the old Candy Apple Red back in the days of Sandmans. Can you remember back then, Paul?
Remember, I'm an old man now, you know, these things. No, it is looking really sparkling. Should be, Nathan's pretty new to this boat. He's built it recently and done all the hard yards on it. So, yeah, great to see him out here in the X100 class, brought to us by Tattoos R Us. And, yeah, the owner of Tattoos R Us is the artist, and what a machine that is. It's going to be a feature for the show and shine.
It'll be a contender for sure. As we said earlier on this morning, there's probably 5 or 6 boats that are going to be vying for that show and shine trophy coming up this afternoon after racing. So make sure you go into town and check it all out. It's going to be an awesome event, a street party. One more with Nathan Bartak. He will be next out, just waiting for our recovery team to remove Tantrum and Justin McLeish. So hopefully the guys can get onto that, but that puts Justin in a bad spot as far as pole position.
John might tell us a little bit about the Gateway Mildura, where our show and shine will be happening today.
Sure, guys. Gateway Mildura down on 15th Street, and it's an amazing location, one of our premier local hospitality venues. This features not only a family bistro, but a very modern sports bar and event facilities as well. Very well known for its very friendly family atmosphere and quality dining. The Gateway offers all-day meals, live sports and private function spaces, and proudly hosts today our show and shine for our social events here this weekend for the Sunraysia Spectacular for 2025. Paul?
So about to head out for his first run. As I said, one more. We haven't got a time in as yet with 14 boats scheduled in for the X100. We've got 3 heats scheduled in for this afternoon after the National Drivers' Championship hot laps have conducted, and that'll be after the 6 litre, so lots of action to go. Conditions are absolutely ideal, probably about 25 degrees at the moment, only a slight breath of wind. You could not ask for any more for powerboat racing this afternoon here at Mildura.
25 degrees on the temperature gauge, but 35 by Victorian standards. Beautiful day here at the Mildura Ski Club. Corner. He is into it nice and early. So he's got to stop that porpoising of the boat. Comes past in one more. Wide entry into turn number 1. Now he can close it up mid-corner. Allows the boat to come out on its head. Now full throttle. Hard off the cab plate now to try and let the boat get as much acceleration down the back straight as he can. Still starting to porpoise about midway down the back straight, Paul.
Back straight as he crossed the start-finish line. It was a 19-second run for him to this point in time. Nice and tidy through the exit there. Boat's porpoising a little bit here, but we'll get a time in, which is good news. Yellow is up there now. Clayton's going to hit the line at unofficially a 41.66. That's just off my calculation, so that won't be the official one, but 41.66 at this point in time.
A 41 point.
Unofficial, of course, we'll just be doing it off my stopwatch.
Yeah, officially, but our timing is telling us a 41.6 for one more, and Nathan Bartzak. So not down on the ramp at the moment, so we're going straight into our next one, and that is Ricochet with Jake Wilson. Motivation and Glenn Spider Roberts through missing these heat races. Get it back down here to the boat ramp. Jake Wilson bringing Ricochet back towards the start line. You can see this boat a lot flatter on the water. Just hitting a little bit of the weight from the previous lap. Boat sounding super strong as it heads down into turn number 1. The pins. Now he lets the boat float out to the right-hand side. Off the cab plate. See what he can do. Halfway down the back straight. Again, it's about a 19-second.
About 1 second behind. Well, one more at this point in time, but he's heading up. He's going to get a very nice turn up there. So Ricochet's coming through now. The open deck boat indeed. 56 is what we're looking for at the moment.
Chris Dinan out in Excalibur. He is next out. We're just waiting for our officials to give us our official timing for Jake Wilson. And it's 1/10 of a second difference, a 41.5. 41.6. 1.5. Excalibur coming down the back straight at the moment on his sighting lap. Chris Dinan.
Yeah, the Ricochet made us a good time. He's a little bit behind at the halfway mark, but came home pretty strong there, I believe. So
looked like he had a great exit out of turn 2 there for the last time. Tantrum and Ricochet, boats look very, very similar. Ricochet has the white engine cowling on the top, the air intake cowling. Ricochet, sorry, it was Tantrum has the white cowling. Engine cowling. Tynan in Excalibur takes the green flag on his hot lap for the X100, brought to you by Tattoos R Us. Wider entry into turn number 1. Probably pole 4 once we start getting some other boats out there. Gets full acceleration down the back straight, keeping it nice and level, just hitting a few wakes from his previous lap. Quick here, what can you do in this corner here, Paul?
All three have been coming past the halfway mark, all very much in line with each other at this point in time. Chris Dynan, MRSBC, hard worker there, he's going to come across the line and about a second off the pace, I think. Ron, what have you got there on your one?
Waiting for our official time. And it's a 42.6. A 42.6.
So that's good.
So Chris Dynan making his way to the pit area. Out. And it will be Sinister 4. Scott Knudsen behind the wheel.
All right, next one through is the Sinister, Scott Crewston. The Sinister 4, so we've got quite a few of them around. I haven't got the start, I missed him on this one, I'm sorry, but we'll just get a update in a sec, but nice little run down the front straight away. Heading up the back straight away now, it's the Sinister with Scott Crewston behind the wheel.
Just seems to run out of a little bit of top speed there, but he's able to hold the throttle down through the corner. Now he opens it right up, gets onto the cab plate, and allows the boat to come out on turn number 2. Seeing if that was a checkered flag then. Couldn't see it had a tree in the way. I'm not sure whether that was a checkered. 41.
So we've got so far the fastest time has just gone to the Sinister 4 with Scott Crewston behind the wheel with a 41 even. Followed by the Ricochet with Jake Wilson at a 41.5. With a one more with Nathan Barracks at 41.6. And Chris Dynan with a 42.6. It is super close.
It certainly is, and that's what we expect from this brand new 100 brought to you by Tattoos R Us. I always got to ask the question, when you see a boat that's got some numbers with it, like Sinister 4 or Melody 11, you've got to ask yourself, what happened to the previous boats?
They've either upgraded them or crashed them. That's how it used to work with us.
Looks like Nick Borg out there, boys, in the Pro Performance boat.
So we've actually skipped a couple then because we've got Matt Smith about time, not making a time at this point indeed. We've got the Hypo with Lewis Mills, that's not making time. But the Performance with Nick Borg behind the wheel is out there indeed, John.
We did see one of those boats, that was the boat out of Adelaide with Matt Smith. That did come to a stop in practice earlier this morning up there in turn number 2 as well. So obviously the guys are still trying to get that boat back out, turned around. As we said in our preview, it's been sitting around for a while, that boat. They put a motor together and hoping for a good weekend, but unfortunately it looks like it's going to turn a little bit sour very early for Matt Smith from the Adelaide Speedboat Club.
Up the top there by the look of it, Vaughan, means that he's probably still settling something in before he rolls through.
This is another contender for tonight's show and shine as well. A beautifully presented boat.
Have a look as he aims himself up for the main straight down in front of us now. Vaughan, this thing looks like it's got plenty of mumbo now.
Burning the engine too. It's got a lot of revs behind it. This is Nick Borg in Performance. As he heads down into turn number 1, probably allowing for the previous wakes to disappear. That's why the extra additional circle up in the milling area. Smart thinking from Nick Borg.
Now the boat's actually sitting very, very nicely indeed, turning some good speed. Nick's pretty experienced behind the wheel, and we haven't seen this particular boat out for a while. He's been driving the Transonic, so good to see Nick behind the wheel here at the Performance Machine. And of course, Nick is a pretty seasoned campaigner, so here he comes now through. We'll get a good time on him, but it looks a good run.
Tell you what, boys, that's a pretty sharp looking time out of him.
Waiting for our screens to refresh up here. And Nick Borg, no, still waiting.
Just got to type it in.
It looked pretty tight, boys.
Very, very fast and carrying a lot of revs too for Nick Borg in Performance. And just having a look, no, so still waiting. So that's competitor number 10. So we've lost quite a few runners already.
Hello. It looks like they're going to be out of order a little bit because Jimbo is now in the water. So
Phil Smirlick
in there. So Jimbo's a nice little package actually. So we may be having a few runners just out of order, and maybe it's just giving them a little bit more time to any issues from the practice run this morning. Still waiting here for a time from the Performance Machine of Nick Borg, but it did look pretty tidy and quick.
So still to come will be Mick McArdle driving Hombre, Mark Schultz, the series sponsor from Tattoos R Us in The Artist. Then we have Mike Godsall in Moonshine, and rounding out our field, Steve Rumble for Cut Cat Racing. He's another one to keep an eye on in this X100. Very, very consistent in that Cut Cat Racing boat.
Thank you. This weekend goes to the Mildura Rural City Council for their involvement as the governing body of the Sunraysia region, providing infrastructure, community services and tourism and development for this place. Covering over more than 22,000 square kilometres, the council supports local events like this Sunraysia Spectacular here this weekend, fostering regional growth and community engagement. A big thank you again to the Mildura Rural City Council for your engagement with racing here this weekend.
So, Phil Smirlick out there in Jimbo from the Riverland Powerboat Club up there in Berry. Beautiful spot, beautiful part of the world. And we'll be holding a very big race meeting coming up in January. I think it's the Australia Day long weekend up there. The World Challenge, Australia versus New Zealand versus the Yanks. Can the Aussies spank a Yank in Berry?
Good competition, isn't it? They got a Kiwi coming out this year as well, which is the Rantac, which is fantastic to see. A couple of Americans, and they'll up against our blow-on boats and have a great old time. Berry's a great place to So still haven't got a time for Nick Borg at this moment in time. I just refreshed my screen, so it still hasn't come up, but we'll wait for that to happen. And we are definitely running out of order because we've also got Hypo.
Hypo, yep.
Earlier, so good to see the officials letting them come down a little bit late. So good for the class to have, hopefully all of them go out and put a time in.
And that's Moonshine. That's the Godsall family boat. Moonshine. And Phil Smirlick in Jimbo, as we said, from the Riverland Powerboat Club up there in Berry. And away he goes, hard on the gas, nice and early, and look at the boat, beautiful, sitting across the top of the water as he goes across, grabs the green flag, and away we go for Phil Smirlick and Jimbo. You can hear him hard on the gas through the corner. On the gas now as he opens it up down the back straight for the first time. hands up on the helmet. I'm wondering whether his chin strap has come loose on the helmet. His head. So Phil Smirlick coming across the line, boat looking nice in the water. This line, hopefully our timing system will get back up and running very shortly, because I reckon that one's going to be in the top 3.
I'd have to go back the old-fashioned way and run my own one, I think. I was relying upon the live updates, but they're not coming through, so I'll go back to the old-fashioned phone myself.
So looks like Lewis Mills in hypo will be next to go after this one. So Lewis Mills fires it up. Hypo, the S72.
Of course, we do have to mention here, and it's Chris Dinan just walked past us, who's had a really good run earlier. All these boats have actually got a GPS within them, and the competitors do have to walk them up to the officials after their run to confirm that they have not broken the 100-mile-an-hour mark. So, you know, you can put the fastest time in here and look like your hero on paper, but if you've broken that 100-mile-an-hour mark, you will be disqualified.
Paul, really, you know, what we call today, tomorrow and on Sunday are all provisional for the obvious reasons until such time as we get official adjudication out of our tent, which provides us the real result. So, yeah, we can call it for what we say, guys, but all provisional until such time as that's confirmed.
They do ask for them. They are pretty quick at it. Do apologise, the microphones are dropping out. We are getting it fixed. But they do it pretty quick. As you can see, the competitors are actually starting to walk up and hand them in. So they do need to do that straight away as part of the conditions of the X100 class.
And I've just had a brain fade. Cat Racing normally races in the 6-litre category. I believe they're running a new engine this weekend, or haven't been able to sort out an issue on board Cat Racing. So they've decided to drop back and have a run in the X100 series, the National Drivers' Championship, brought to you by Tattoos R Us. As we see Hypo out on the water, Lewis Mills.
That's a pretty impressive time on the halfway mark up the back straight away. Probably looking about a second up at the moment, which is a pretty good run here. I've just got my stopwatch on it at the second, so looking pretty tidy, hugging the boys there and making down the front straight away.
Tell you what, Paul, that also looks like another very tidy time coming out of that camp. It'll be interesting to see what the official result is for that. But, Vaughan, that looked really tidy.
Certainly did. And we're just waiting for our timing screen to move up, but we've got an unofficial time of a 39.5. So that was definitely up in the top 3 or 4. But I liked his thinking on the back straight there, making his way to the milling area, nice and slow, and doesn't create the wake ferocity that it would if you were going down there at half throttle or full throttle. So very smart thinking from Lewis Mills. You know, it's like the old saying, Paul, that, you know, winning's won in the workshop, but it's also won out there on the racetrack prior to the dropping of the green flag. Smart thinking, need some smart thinking on board.
You do indeed. That's one thing, and we've got about time Matt Smith. So yes, he had a few issues earlier in practice, so great to see Matt Smith in about time heading out now for his run here in the X1.